We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the best show on right now on YouTube. STK surviving the Knicks. Let's get busy.
What's up?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This is STK surviving the Knicks, episode 29. We got my brothers in the house. There's a plant involved as well.
I'm fixing my background.
Something you can't smoke, unfortunately.
Ed was talking about my background. I'm just fixing it up.
All right. And we got Coach B coming on a little bit later, but right now we got Wall Street Heck in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Don't be talking about my background, yo.
Try not to, man, but it's luckily people will hear this on a podcast, not in like the actual YouTube videos, because they'll be like, hey, what's up with that guy? Throw a Knicks sticker or something back there.
He said throw it on the wall.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, and the always critical Ed Dollars in the building.
What's up, fellas?
All right.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute.
We've done a lot. A lot of things have happened. Knicks got the 11th pick in the draft.
There we
Holla
go.
back.
There we go. Ty Washington coming soon.
Coach B is late. Coach B is late.
Johnny Davis.
Coach B is late.
Johnny Davis.
And of course, I am Just.Hek, and I am the reason why the show has not been over 2 weeks. But no, honestly speaking, I missed you guys. I wanted to talk basketball the whole way. Fortunately, I had some business to take care of down south. But you know what? We got plenty of basketball to talk about tonight, and let's get right into it. First off, we're going to recap the conference finals. Dallas Mavericks lost to the Golden State Warriors. It was 4-1. He succumbed to the juggernaut that is the Golden State Warriors and the highly potent offense that is. Luka Doncic tried his best to put up a fight, but unfortunately, he was just overmatched. And then you had the Miami Heat, who lost in 7 games to the Boston Celtics, thus leaving us with 2 teams that I do not really care about to be in the finals. And I'm forced to pick one team that I really don't like over the other team that I don't really like. But anyway, enough about my gripes. Wall Street, what were your thoughts on the conference finals?
The Golden State series was I thought was gonna be a walkthrough. You know, I thought about it. I know that Luka Doncic, he's really, really good, but I'm not gonna call him great. I was telling my niece the other day that she wants to play tennis. She was talking to me about tennis, and I was telling her, what does every great basketball player, soccer player, tennis player, great baseball player, great swimmer, what do they have in common? And she's like, what? It's like they're athletes. All these people are athletes first. And then they pick a sport, and that's the sport that they're good at. Then they become a ball player. To be a ball player, you got to be an athlete, So when you look at the athletes that were on the court that day, Luka Doncic, he looks like a ball player. He doesn't look like an athlete. And the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, the conference finals and the playoffs in general is a marathon, first. And then it's like a marathon and a basketball game breaks out. So, he looks like he doesn't look in shape to me. So I thought that was going to be a walkthrough. But the Boston series was tight. Jason Tatum accepted the challenge, and he showed great leadership in the losses that they had. It was Jason Tatum scoring clearly, leads the team. But when he does the other things, when he does the small things, then they look unstoppable. And in the losses that Boston had in that series, it looked like Jason Tatum wasn't doing the small things. But when he does do the small things, then I wish Coach B was here, because Coach B is not the biggest fan of Marcus Smart. But Marcus Smart plays a role. You have two different basketball teams, and both teams got a point guard. Sometimes your point guard got to be a scorer. Sometimes your point guard got to be a stopper. You're playing with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Having a stopper at the one is perfect. It's like the perfect move. It's like there's balance there. So you got your triangle right there. So you know what I'm saying? I love Boston, but now for the finals, it's gonna be I'm gonna call the finals right now. I'm gonna call it the way I called the Boston series, the Boston-Miami series. It's going to be too close to call. If you calling it, if you're emphatic, oh, this is the team that's going to win, this is the team that's going to win, then you full of it. This is a toss-up, and it's going to come down to little things, and it's going to be a great series. So if you think you're going to get a boring finals, I'll leave it with that. This is going to be one of the great finals. I love basketball. It always gets better. There's been some great finals in our history. This is going to be a great finals to watch.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Ed Dollars, give us your take, brother.
Well, on Caesar's gambling app, I bet that the finals are going 5 games. So I'm in polar opposite with Wall Street's take on the finals, but I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
All right. So we had 2 dynamic series. We had the Western Conference series. We had the Eastern Conference series. We had the Mavs versus Golden State. We had the Celtics versus Miami. Mavs, Golden State. Doncic he's LeBron. He's a slow white version of LeBron James. I mean,
yeah,
he may not be the most athletic, yet he still averaged 37 points a game in that series. He did whatever he wanted. He needed severe help. Dunwoody helped him out a little bit. The Knicks target, Brunson, helped him out as well here and there. But you live by the 3, die by the 3. They were able to win the game that they won because it was a gentleman's sweep 4-1. They were able to win the game that they won with a monstrous 3-point show, but the rest of the games, they just couldn't muster up the offense to keep up with the Golden State Warriors. And Golden State's looking like, a machine out there.
Yeah.
Not only are they getting Gary Payton back for the finals, but they had a couple extra days of rest. They're going to be well oiled by the finals. And Clay looked fantastic in last game. Wiggins looks like the number 1 draft pick. I mean, he was locking up. He played very well. Luka is hard to stop him because he hit so many crazy threes, but he was amazing. And he was one of the reasons why the Golden State Warriors are in the finals. I mean, Jordan Poole, Draymond, Steph, Looney, whoever faces them is going to be a tough job. But the Mavericks, I mean, they got a great future. I think they may have to go big. That's a team that, it wouldn't be a bad idea to trade Julius to that team because they have no post presence whatsoever. It'd be great if we can get Brunson for Julius. I doubt that's going to happen. Brunson's going to want like $125 million over 4 or 5 years. That's a steep price, but that would be a team to trade Julius if we ever decide to trade Julius. Eastern Conference Finals. Check it. If Middleton was not hurt, the Bucks would be in the finals right now because both these teams were the walking wounded. Marcus Smart didn't play one of the games because his leg is messed up. Right. Tyler Hero didn't play because he didn't play the last 2 games because of a groin issue. Jimmy Butler had a leg issue. Jimmy Butler went off though. I was in the camp of Jimmy's a good number 2 guy. In this series, he kind of showed that he can be a number 1 guy, and he propels the Miami Heat to greater heights. And from what I saw, the Celtics were the better team. Tatum, the other dude, Brown, like Marcus Smart, like Hofford. Those guys were better. The Time Lord. Those guys were better than the Heat. Yet the Heat still took them to 7 games. Still took them to the last minute of the 7th game And if Jimmy did not shoot that three, had he not shot that three and would have drove in, he would have got the and one, and we would be talking about Golden State versus Miami right now. But that didn't happen. You know, Boston had a superior defense, and honestly, they just outlasted Miami. Those guys just didn't have the legs for the whole for the whole thing. So now we got Golden State and Boston. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we could talk about who my picks are in a second.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ed. I think that I kind of looked at Bam Adebayo, and I felt like he was neutralized. Like he got exposed a little bit for all of his great feats. I mean, he's great on the perimeter. He's a really small center, and Williams, when he played, neutralized him, like pushed him out, took him out of his comfort zone, and really like forced him to try to be a different kind of basketball player in a way. And it didn't work for him. Bam, I felt like he has to hit the gym this summer because with everybody down, and like you said, they took him to 7 games. If Bam would have played better, this series probably would have been over in 6. But I don't know. It's there were a lot of injuries. I agree with you, Wall Street, about Luka. I think Luka has to get in the gym and work on his body. He has to, I think he's surviving on IQ and talent because he's a really smart basketball player. And that's what puts him ahead of everybody else. But athletically, he's not really that guy. He's never been that guy. He's never been in his whole career. I mean, and I don't want to make the Larry Bird comparison because that, people start saying, that it becomes racial in a sense. And it's not that. I'm talking about basketball, high IQ guys that didn't have to rely so much on athleticism, and they were just really flat out fire. Like, they get hot and there's nothing you can do. Ask the Phoenix Suns. Needless to say, listen, I'll say it. Listen, it is what it is. Nah, man.
He almost got Chris Paul to retire. He almost sent him to retirement.
Listen, man.
Shooting over that guy.
It is what it is. But no, and you're right, Wall Street. He has to hit the gym. If he's gonna be able to compete in this league and really be a part of winning and trying to win chips, he's got to hit the gym. And Dallas also has to try to. I mean, can we keep it real, guys? Who's going to Dallas as a free agent?
Well, you know what? Don't say that because they got an owner that's willing to pay for it. They got
forever
no state taxes.
But who goes? Who's been going with all that you said?
He's somebody. People like Dallas.
But who's been going? Who they've attracted? And you got a guy. Dallas has been there. Tim Hardaway Jr. Right? 4 years. I mean, come on. They're not going to attract. They got to get lucky in the draft. And that's why I don't. Longevity wise, Doncic may stay just out of honor.
Yeah.
But
that team is.
Yeah, and it's true what you say. It's about who gets there, because when you think about all the greats, right, that won chips, like Jordan did it with who? You gave Jordan a Pippen and you gave Jordan a Rodman, right? And what was Pippen for Jordan?
I know Horace Grant first.
Yeah, no, I mean they get it throughout their careers, you know. You look at Kobe, he had his two. You look at LeBron. He did it with a Wade and a Bosh, and that was kind of his little Pippen and Rodman in a different way, And then and then Bron gets a Kyrie and a Love, If you look at Steph, he's had it his whole career. He got the Clay and the Draymond. So what does that great need? The first thing that they need is they can't play every down on offense, So what Wade was to LeBron is like, all right, LeBron scored the last 6 points straight, and you led the offense for the last 5 minutes. He's gassed. He can pass it off to D Wade. D Wade can lead the offense. So that's Luka's only problem right now. Luka needs to be surrounded by dogs. So, a team that could defend, a team that's well-rounded with dogs that could defend, that can bang, that can get rebounds. And then he just needs one more guy that can get buckets. Get me one more guy that could just give me a couple of breaks. I just took 3 shots in a row. I just need 2 possessions off. But the offense can't stop.
That's why
I just need that one guy.
That's why I thought that it was weird that the Porzingis-Luka dynamic didn't work, because
that probably should have worked.
It should have been like the perfect complement. And I heard a weird rumor. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard that, they didn't like each other, but they didn't like each other because of their personal stuff. He just didn't want to. He didn't like to pass him the ball because he didn't want him to dominate the ball. Luka didn't want Porzingis to dominate the ball because Luka likes to dominate the ball. So, I think that he may have like this ego gene, although Spencer Dinwiddie comes off the bench and Brunson clearly defers and Tim Hardaway defers, but maybe Porzingis didn't defer and he's a bit of a dick. So, for Luka, you said it right, Wall Street, that it reminds me of LeBron's teams, but not the latter part of his teams. I'm talking about the early Cleveland teams where it was just LeBron and nobody else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually, after like 7-8 years, he had to leave, right? And
That's
kind of
right.
create his own super team. Well, Luka, number one, has to get in better shape. Number two, he has to change his mindset. He doesn't have to take all the shots. He should be able to defer, and he should be willing to give up the ball and not dominate the ball. And number three, they got to make it enticing for free agents or trade for free agents. Right now Brunson's is up for a restricted agency, and he's gonna get the bag. And if I'm them, I probably give him the bag, although he's undersized. And the reason why I give him the bag is someone else out there may want him in the future, and you may need to match salaries. So give him the 20 million and see how he works this year. And if it doesn't work out, trade him. And that's what all the good teams do, man.
Yeah. So Nate Diaz, shout out to Nate Diaz, shout out to Cano who popped up. Nate Diaz says Steph makes his team better. And I mean,
that's what greats do. That's what greats do. I'm gonna tell you how you separate the greats from the goods, right? You take a good and you put them on a bad team, and that team remains bad. You take a great and you put them on a bad team, and what you get is the Dallas Mavericks. What Luka is able to do is incredible because he gets them this far, and he's going to continue to get his teams this far. But if he's going to get over the hump, and this is going to be his wall right here, and if something don't happen, then this will be his wall. What made LeBron great? One of the things that made Jordan and Kobe great was the organization. To start with. Dallas, Luka's young, and Dallas has a great organization. I think Porzingis was a mistake. I think that the league is going to learn pretty quick that, number one, Porzingis is not going to play 82 games. And for the 70 games that he is there, he's going to cause a disruption. So I'm not blaming that on Luka, but, I wouldn't count Dallas out. You don't count Mark Cuban out. You don't bet against Mark Cuban. He'll probably figure something out for now. But, to get over the hump, he's going to need a bunch of dogs and somebody that could help take the pressure off. Now, Jordan had an organization that made sure he was always in the right position. Kobe had that. The great thing about LeBron is LeBron made that. I was thinking the other day, LeBron is a better front office than the New York Knicks front office.
Is he?
Yeah, he is his own front office. He is his own front office. All right, but listen, he did that he got Russell Westbrook. He did that on a team that he brought a championship to, immediately.
Bubble championship. But you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Jason Kidd too, man. That's the coach that I really wanted. And
he did his thing this year.
He impressed a lot of people. Like they were kind of thinking about him with the Bucks and the Nets, where he was dropping water on the floor. He enhance his reputation. He was a legit coach. And, truth be told, the Mavericks, the Suns should have been in the Western Conference Finals, not the Mavericks. They were a year too early. Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with Luka. And a lot of that has to do with Jason Kidd, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah. I want to also Wall Street. I just want to add on to your point. When you talk about organizations, it also comes down to great coaching. And I think when you have someone, when you mentioned Jordan and Kobe, the one thing that happened that needed to take place for them to become successful is becoming less ball dominant. And they had to cater offenses. The triangle was about not being ball dominant. And so not to say that Luka has to get the triangle, not at all. What I'm saying is he has to be less ball dominant. He has to trust in his teammates more. Because it's obvious, and Ed, you hit it right on the button. He's doing too much. I'm watching him play, and he looked overwhelmed mentally. Like he's looking at all these things. He's looking at Clay go off, and he's looking at Steph go off, and then he's got Wiggins in front of him, and then Jordan Poole's going off, and then Wiggins dunked on him. I mean, that shit can be overwhelming. Like you're looking at all these guys, it's like, damn, you got to match Clay. Then you got to match Steph. Then you got to match Jordan Poole. Then you got to match guys coming off the bench. Like it was, even Kevin Looney got into the bench.
Oh my God.
and when Steph didn't have it, Jordan Poole, like they just had these duplicate parts coming after you, cut into the rim. Yo, the Golden State offense is scary. A masterpiece of an offense. It's like what you want to teach your kids, because if people, they don't just shoot threes, they cut to the basket, they shoot everything.
They set picks for each other.
They do post up, they do picks for each other. It's that's what I'm saying. Like Boston, Boston has a great defense, and they're the number one ranked defense in the NBA this year, and they got the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. But they're not gonna. People are like 7 games, 6. I'm thinking 5 games max. I think it's a gentleman's sweep, because I think that Steph wants to solidify his legacy. He definitely wants that Finals MVP. Yeah. He wants to get more than others currently have. He wants one more than KD to basically be like, you chose wrong in choosing Kyrie. And I mean, Miami, let's be real, man. That thing sapped the hell out of that team, man. That was a grinding series. I'm sure that those guys are still hurt. Yeah. And now they got to jump into the NBA Finals with a team that went to the finals like what, 4 out of 6 years, 4 out of 6 years, or 6 out of 8 years? What? 4 out of 6 years, right?
4 out of 6 years, yeah.
4 out of 6 years. Guys want to cement their legacy. You got Draymond, Clay, Steph, Poole, Looney, Wiggins. Oh, come on, man. And then Gary Payton Jr. is coming back.
Right. Yeah. Actually, no, you're right. It's 6 out of 8.
You got guys on the bench that would be starters on other teams. Kuminga.
And it's 6 out of 8. Right.
Mosley.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. 8, yeah. I got Golden State edging out Boston in this series, but I just think that it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people are giving. I think that there's going to be some games at home that Boston's going to, Jaylen Brown and Jaylen Brown plays some grown man ball. They're going to be difficult to defend. I think that Golden State is going to have a lot of trouble defending this team. And then I think on the other side,
I don't think so at all.
The Golden State Warriors are they're gonna every once in a while they're gonna run into some walls that I see. So Wiggins and it's just like the last series. I had said it the last series. If Wiggins goes off, then it's easy. Forget about it. I had Golden State, but that's if Wiggins has underperformed throughout his whole career. If Wiggins continues to underperform, you still got Golden State. But when you got a guy like Wiggins, who's, probably the third option going off, then you know, I would say
If
there's a starting lineup, and then there's what they call a depth chart,
Depth-
and that depth chart
yeah.
tells you basically the best player on the court. When the fifth guy on the depth chart is killing it, then you have no chance. And that's that. And for Golden State, that was Looney, you know. And then the third guy on the depth chart was Wiggins. So you had Looney and Wiggins going off.
I would debate that. I would say Jordan Poole is the third.
Well, I mean,
which makes Wiggins your fourth.
Yep. Yeah, but Jordan Poole, Jordan Poole comes off the bench.
Second.
Yeah.
And Clay was a third.
And Clay would be your third, which is even
Wiggins
scarier.
Fourth.
Which is
even
scarier.
Scary.
Yeah.
Super scary.
You know what's interesting about this series too?
Mm-hmm.
This is a series that we're gonna see two teams that basically grew their own players. You know, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown were all drafted.
Yep.
Ironically, that they got the draft picks from the Nets when the Nets got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Yep. So that's weird.
Crazy.
And then obviously Golden State has Steph, Clay, Draymond, Poole, Kuminga, Looney. Those are homemade drafts. And the Knicks, for instance,
let's not even forget Wiseman, who's hurt,
and Wiseman, who's not even playing. But teams like the Knicks should kind of look at this finals and be like, yo, before we make rash decisions and start trying to trade our paces away, we should see how these teams built. There's something I know that we lost for a long, long time, years and years. But when you start building it the right way, you get a little lucky here and there, but you keep on and being patient, good things will happen. Yeah. So, I hope we're patient and see what happens. But, this is going to be an interesting series. Walsh, you said it right there. Boston's defense is ridiculous. And this is going to be a classic case of who's better, the offense team or the defensive team. Now, Boston has Tatum, and Tatum's a top 10 player in the NBA, I think, right? Maybe. He's definitely a top 10 player.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. Is Tatum the best small forward in the East?
No. Kevin Durant.
Best small forward?
Yep, Kevin Durant.
He
knocked him out.
He knocked him out.
And he scored and he was guard. Kevin Durant was guarding him. He scored at will against him.
He knocked him out, but
Beast of the East.
I guess you're right. I don't know, but he's not better than Durant. We know that. We know he's not better than Durant.
Maybe
he did knock him out. He did sweep him.
He knocked him out.
He swept them.
Listen, the bodies that Tatum has caught in the playoffs: Durant, Antetokounmpo, and Butler. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Hey,
what's more does he got to do?
Listen,
but Antetokounmpo, did he really? Because Giannis dominated that series. And again, he was under, his number 2 guy wasn't playing. Didn't play the whole series. Giannis did that shit by himself. Listen, he got mad tight at the end.
Body's a body, man. Body's a body. Listen,
Durant and Kyrie, they had no excuse. No excuse. Yeah. They should have won a game, man. Right? How could you get swept?
I don't know what's with the Tatum disrespect, because he's played his butt off the whole. I mean.
No, Tatum's good.
He was dominant. You know what I'm saying? He was no slouch.
I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, is he?
I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
It's arguable.
Is he the beast of these?
It's either him or Durant. And you know what? Tatum is like a chameleon out there. Sometimes I see him next to people and he looks like 6'5". And I see him next to Durant. He's 6'10". Yo, my man. All those pictures of him hugging people. He's like, well, how tall are you? Tatum is the Lakers made a big mistake in drafting Lonzo over Tatum. Huge mistake. Some can say the Suns made the same mistake. You know what I'm saying? Tatum was that guy back then too, and they should have known that, especially at his length. Boston got a steal with these guys, and again, Boston is probably a year too early for them to be in the finals, but they're taking advantage of the situation. Marcus Smart being the defensive player of the year at the guard position. Really unheard of thing. And Marcus is gonna take it to Steph. This year I think Boston got the best out of Golden State. I think they have the winning record in the regular season against Golden State.
Yeah, they did.
But I'm still taking Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, that's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great series.
We may be surprised.
Who you got? Who you got?
Listen. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And what games? How many games?
I'm rooting for Boston. I don't want Golden State.
I can't root for Boston.
I can't root for Golden State.
I'm
not gonna do it.
Me, I said it in a previous podcast.
East Coast, man.
You can't root for Boston. You know what I'm saying? Coming up in the Bronx as Yankee fans. But come on, man. As a basketball person, you don't love this squad.
Although I couldn't root for Miami either.
I gotta keep it West. I gotta keep it East Coast, man. I can't do it.
I can't root for Boston. I got Golden State in 5.
Okay. What you got, Wall Street?
Man, I got. I hate to say, I hate making calls like that, but man, I got 7 games. I got 6-7 games. I got tough battles. We might see an OT. We might see a blowout. I wouldn't be surprised if Boston, came out and punched these guys in the mouth and win the first game by 22.
I'd be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised because they played that hard. Nobody wants to play like that. Especially, nobody wants to be banged like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we got our predictions out. We got one for Golden State to win in 5. Wall Street, what you got? Golden State in 6?
I got Golden State at 7.
7? Okay.
If it's Golden State by 5, I'll take you guys out for drinks because I put $300 on FanDuel, and I did it 3 weeks ago. I did it 3 weeks ago. I did it 2 weeks ago, like 5 games in so I get like double the payout. I get like $600.
But I want to go to City Island on a Friday night, like at 9 p.m. Like at 9 p.m. on a Friday, that's when it's live.
You want to go to the spot?
Sure, it's live. Sure, it's live.
Nah, you want to go to the spot at the end, all the way at the end.
Darkness.
No, buddy.
In total darkness.
You're not gonna give me in that spot. I know that spot. Yeah.
Cash only.
Yeah. Cash only. There's a lot of stuff cash only in that spot. But anyway. Moving on. The Knicks in the draft.
Oh, that's why we got a podcast.
Knicks in the
STK.
draft. That's right. Knicks are in the draft. I mean,
11th pick.
11th pick. Listen, man. So we're looking at this year's draft. A lot of people are saying that it is a packed draft. I say that is false. There is not a lot in this draft. This was not the year to lose games on purpose. Now Jabari Smith climbed up the charts. He was like 4th. Now he's 1st. Chet Holmgren is a tough 2nd. Paolo Banchero. I mean, and these are just predictions. It's a mock.
But heck. Yeah. I would say. Yes, you're right. This is not the year to tank, but it's not the year to tank because the top picks aren't like franchise chasing picks.
No,
but there's some
projects.
There's a lot of good quality picks after like the 5th, 6th pick. Like after you decide that it's not a franchise chasing player, you'll get a good player.
Yeah, AJ Griffin is good. AJ Griffin's good. Shaden Sharp,
good man.
Johnny
Davis.
Ty Washington.
I don't got Ty. I'm hoping that we get Johnny Davis. Actually,
he's a good guard. Griffin. But you got guards though. Knicks have guards.
No, we need a. I know we need a point guard, but you can never have too much shooting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, Ty Washington is your point guard, man.
I don't know, man.
But I don't know.
How tall is he?
6'3", 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah,
plays both
quickly.
He plays both. Maybe. I think he passes a little bit more. I think he's more quickly was more of a 2 guard versus, and that's like the project for the Knicks to make him a point guard. Whereas you got Ty Washington, who is more of a point guard, but he could also play some off ball. I mean, it. I mean, listen. I mean, this is a tough draft when you look at the whole draft, right? Nikola Jovic is a good pick. I mean, I think he's something. Kendall Brown is a decent pick. Max Christie is a legacy pick.
Well,
If you're gonna
the thing that I don't want the Knicks to do is to draft a big. Whatever they do,
right.
They cannot draft a center or power forward, no matter what happens. I don't care.
Yeah. Jalen Duren, 6'11", 250, actually did well in Memphis this year. And I mean, he's already got the NBA body.
We cannot have any centers or power forwards on the roster anymore. That's it. We need guards and wings. That's it.
Who's going to rebound if you got nothing but guards?
I don't care what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But outside of that, I just don't see this, I mean, even like a lot of dudes have been falling. It's like Gene Montero was a first rounder, and I don't know what's going on, why his stock is now. They got him in the second round. JD Davidson was another one, first rounder. You got some guys maybe in second round, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't. This is, I would say trade. Don't buy, trade it. Rumor had it that the Knicks were looking to trade up and may have been offering their pick and a player for the fourth pick.
Jaden Ivey.
To get maybe Jaden Ivey. That's not a bad pick.
I mean, that'd be great. I'd do that in a heartbeat. But they not only, in order to trade up, not only would they have to throw in their 11th pick, they have to throw in next year's number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Which will be valuable because the Knicks won't be good. So is Jaden Ivey worth 2 high-level draft picks? You know what I'm saying?
I would give them. I'd offer the Kings Julius and that 11th pick. And maybe a second rounder, throw that in. That's not a bad pick at all. That's not a bad offer to the Kings. Although I don't know, obviously I'm speaking more for the Knicks more than anything. But imagine the Kings with the.
Hello. Yo.
I'm still here.
What happened to Hector?
I think he died. His computer died.
Anyway, I heard some other rumors, the whole Donovan Mitchell getting out of Utah rumor is coming. It's starting to make its rounds and stuff like that. And there was discussions about like the Knicks trading like everything. Julius Randle, the 11th pick, next year's and the year after, and maybe RJ Barrett or something like that. And then I read another report where they said that if Mitchell was going to be traded, he would not be traded to the Knicks because they don't have what they want. But he could be traded to Miami around a package centered around Tyler Hero and a bunch of draft picks. Imagine if Jimmy had Donovan Mitchell next year. I think that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen none of the information for the trade rumors. I saw some stuff that quickly was on the table. But yeah, man. If we start Evan Fournier next year, I don't even know what it all means at the end of the day.
I mean, ultimately, for the Knicks, if you want to like kind of mirror what Golden State and Boston did, I mean, Golden State went to the finals this year, but the last 2 years they were like in the stinker. They didn't even make the playoffs. But if I'm the Knicks, I would put my chips in on Obi. I'd have him the new starting point guard. I'd try to trade Randall. I'd select a guard or a wing with that 11th pick because I don't think that there's anybody out there for us, man. There's like in the draft market, in the trade market, there's Colin Sexton. There is, rumors on Mitchell. there's Brunson, and then there's a whole bunch of nothings after that. I doubt that we do anything, to tell you the truth.
I didn't think that Kyrie fit in Brooklyn with Durant and Harden. I was like, that's gonna be a nightmare. But I think that Kyrie fits in the Knicks. He fits next to RJ. He fits next to Julius.
Why would you want Kyrie in the Knicks?
I take Kyrie because you know what he would have? He would have full control. Like, I don't know if he had that in Boston with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He definitely didn't have that with Harden and Durant. For me, it's not just the player, it's the fit. So yeah, I know Kyrie is mad, and I'm like, I didn't like you in Brooklyn. I didn't like you on that squad. I didn't like your fit. But Kyrie next to RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, I like that fit.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that would get us a title.
But the Knicks, that would not get us a title. I'm
not saying that would get us a title. But, we play some great basketball, continue to grow the young guys. We got to grow RJ. We got to grow. If you want to see Obi play, he got to play with people that could play. He got to get better.
Right. Yeah. The only way that the Knicks could get Kyrie is if we succumb to his demands, which is a max contract. He's going to want like $180 million over 4 or 5 years. The Nets can pay him $212 million over like 5 years. That's what he wants. The Nets want someone that is like focused on basketball. The Knicks would never pay Kyrie that price tag, number one, because, basketball is not his number one thing. And number two, he wants to own a franchise. He doesn't want to go to the Knicks. He either goes to the Nets or I don't know. I don't know what happens to him. I don't think the Nets are going to give him a max contract. I think they may give him like an incentive-laden contract, like, pick up your option and then we'll talk. And then here's 2 years, 70 million, or 2 years, 80 million, but they're not going to give him like which is a lot of money in itself, but they're not going to give him like 4 or 5 years, 200 and something million bucks. They don't want to tie their franchise to him. But unfortunately, here's the other rumor about that. Kevin Durant has a large hard-on for Kyrie, and he hasn't spoken to the Nets since the end of the season, which kind of like, you wonder what happens. Is Kevin Durant sending a message to the Nets, be like, yo, take care of Kyrie or I'm out? Or is he like determining whether, even if he had Kyrie, whether he made the right decision? He's seeing Golden State going to the NBA Finals. He's like, did I make the right decision? Right now, he looks terrible, right? Golden State is going to the finals without Kevin Durant. And he's looking really, really bad. And he has really done nothing in the last 2 years. I saw something where, he may want to get traded to the Suns. You saw that?
I did.
Just.Hek, you saw that?
I saw that.
So, like,
It's
he
horrible.
hasn't spoken to the Nets. Kyrie wants his money, and the Nets are not going to pay him. So I don't know. There's something going on there. It may be interesting. I can see the Nets blowing it all up.
Yeah, it's funny too because that was the criticism that he received prior because Golden State made it without him, and so this is really like him leaving Golden State. He left at a time where they were hurt. They were down and out. They lost Clay.
Yep.
And obviously losing a talent like Durant is gonna change your franchise a little bit, but look at them, they're back in it. And I don't know. I just feel like Durant is such an enigma. He's constantly on YouTube, on Twitter, scouring the internet for criticisms of his game,
does he really want to be great? Like, leaving Golden State and choosing Kyrie has got to be one of the biggest mistakes of his career. Not because Kyrie isn't a great basketball player, but he should have known that Kyrie, the number one thing for Kyrie wasn't basketball. He's a great basketball player. And then Harden coming in out of shape, and then now they got Ben Simmons. The Nets, They're still better in a better position than the Knicks by far.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens, they'll be in a better position than the Knicks.
Yeah.
But they have failed in this endeavor of theirs, like massively. This is the worst. They're not going to get any championship, basically.
Nah, I don't think so either. I mean, Kyrie. If the Nets pay him, you basically are enabling bad behaviors. You're allowing a guy that basically breaks up team chemistry wherever he goes. I mean, look at the Boston Celtics. Exactly. You know, we talk about the two guys who joined the Nets. And look at Kyrie. Like he nearly tore that franchise down with his antics in the locker room. And now look at them. They're stronger. They made it through that. And I guess it made them stronger, made them bond together more so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
I want to see Jaylen Brown's Donda shoes in the finals. He's the first athlete to rock Donda as a signature shoe.
Sure.
Donda? How you say it? Donda.
Shout out to Kanye's mom.
Yo, do you pay Zion or no? You give him the max?
Yeah, because if you don't, he's out.
And you're New Orleans, right?
Yeah, he's out. And honestly, he's cleared to play, but
you pay him or you trade him? I trade him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would say trade him.
I would trade him
and get the Knicks for everything they could get. Because that's who the Knicks kind of want. They got that trifecta. You got Cam, you got RJ, and you could put that on. That's marketing genius in itself.
You get a power forward that can provide, that you had before that gave you 20. That's good value. Right? They still got Brandon to really score out there. You get like a plethora of draft picks to really replenish. And then once you get those draft picks, you can start swapping them and getting other players. You can make a big contender. I would trade him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, trade him. I mean,
and I hope that he can come to the Knicks and be lean and be the Zion that we all think he can be. Maybe he can't.
He comes to New York and he becomes the chopped cheese king. You catch him on 116th or you catch him up in the Bronx. Let me get 3 chopped cheeses. You know what I'm saying? Catch him in the spot, like, oh, what are you doing here?
He'll be eating pastrami. He'll be on this pod, like repping pastrami sandwiches.
Come on, Zion. Like, you be talking to him like he's a fiend. Come on, Zion. You gotta go home, man. What you doing in the spot? Like, yo, you just was here. Like, come on, man. Go home.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. It's true. Yeah, I don't know, man. But, man, fellas. It was a great show. Glad y'all held it down during my technical difficulty.
No worries, man.
I don't know what happened.
I think your wife pulled the plug on you. She's like, you know what?
No, she's in the back. Yeah, it's.
I had it with these guys. I'm pulling the plug.
Probably. But fellas, great show, great takes. You know what I'm saying? Wall Street, any last words, my brother?
Oh, man. It's gonna be a great series, and just everybody that's out there watching, thank you for watching STK. Hopefully next year we bring you some more great insight on New York Knicks and overall NBA basketball. But it's gonna be a great series, so lock in and enjoy the show.
And Ed,
Golden State in 5, book it. Golden State in 5, book it.
I'm rooting for that just because.
Pay attention to Golden State and the Celtics, the draft history. Draft your players. Don't just trade for players. All right? Knicks, trade Randall. Use the 11th pick on Johnny Davis. Fire Tibbs.
Yo, how did Ed just say draft your players, don't trade them, and in the same breath says trade Randall?
We didn't draft him.
Yo,
RJ, work on your game.
Yeah,
you better come back with a game.
With a jumper.
Yeah, a left hand, a right hand.
Oh man,
Either left behind your back and
Listen,
just dribble with your
man.
right hand.
I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this on camera, and I'm ashamed to even say it, but I'm rooting for Boston.
Oh.
But I hope Ed wins that bet because we out.
Yes.
We out.
Because we're going to City Island.
We're going chopped cheese in City Island.
Chopped cheese. No, they don't got chopped cheese, but they got chopped something. They got chopped something at City Island.
Chop suey.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh, come on, Wall Street. Yeah, man. That's Wall Street's got something set up. He keeps putting that in the air. I'm gonna wake up in Tarrytown in Ed's backyard.
Lost.
With PJ.
Like naked.
PJ just guarded me.
Spray paint on our chest, STK.
STK. Like, oh man, for real.
Hi, boys.
All right, fellas. Peace.
STK.
All right, good night,
to game one. You know what I'm saying? Tune in next week.
Knicks, pay attention. Follow my plan.
Fire your coach.
Fire the